It's Ken here from OK Portugal, and welcome to another episode of Portugal Farm Life. It's 30 degrees this whole week. Summer is definitely on the way, and I've decided that today I'm going to paint up the pool and get it ready for the summer season. I've left the pool empty during winter, otherwise all sorts of leaves and all sorts of stuff falls in there, and then I have to clean it. I still need to get some kind of a cover that we can put over this pool to stop leaves and things from falling in, but also that cover needs to be secured on the sides so that if something like one of our cats was to walk on it, they wouldn't sink to the bottom and get suffocated by it. We've actually had a little bit of rain over the last couple of days, which is pretty amazing because it's been such a dry winter, and our fields just got cut a couple of weeks ago, and now we've actually got new grass growing in the field already. You can see it's starting to green up again, which is pretty amazing. I didn't expect that in the summertime now. Unfortunately, our lawn, or what was our lawn, that's all gone all dry now. So it's not going to be long until all the chamomile dies and we don't have a lawn anymore. Oh, hello, Mimosa. I don't know if you saw our last week's episode, but Mimosa, she's been diagnosed with leishmaniasis, which is a really bad disease. And so she hasn't been very well for the last couple of days, but she's starting to get better. So yeah, it's good. So the water on our farm is supplied by 2 wells and a dam. And one of those wells is piped into the house. And one of the other wells is for agricultural stuff, so for like watering fields and things like that. Now, the one that goes to our house, we've noticed that for the last 3 or 4 days, the pump seems to just be running continuously. And I'm a little bit concerned that we might have a burst pipe somewhere. And obviously the last thing we want to be doing is just 24/7 pumping all the water out from our well and into the ground somewhere. As you can see, it's looking a little bit overgrown over here. This is our olive grove area, or one of the olive grove areas. And this still needs to be cut, like the rest of the fields. It will get cut soon, because obviously in the summer this becomes quite a fire risk. But once that's done, I'll come around here with the trimmer and neaten things up. Anyway, this is our well for the house. I just want to have a look in here and see what's going on. So yeah, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but I can hear the pump wearing away. And we've got nothing on in the house. So that's quite concerning. This is actually a brand new pump that we got installed, I don't know, halfway through the winter. And they cost, I don't know, 300, 400, 500 euros. So hopefully it's not broken. So yeah, that pump is quite powerful. It's attached to this metal pole that goes under the ground a couple of 100 meters up to the house. And that's a steel pipe, so hopefully it hasn't corroded somewhere and it's just like emptying into the ground, because that would be a disaster. Obviously all the taps in our house are switched off. There should be no reason for that pump to be running, and yeah, I hope it's not a problem. So as I've been walking up here, I'm kind of looking for areas of like obvious green growth, to see if maybe the pipe's burst underneath the ground there, but I can't really see anything obvious. It's not all brown yet, so it's quite difficult to tell. I'm not actually seeing the levels of the well going down or anything like that. And this has been going on for a couple of days. So it's possible that the switch that's inside the pump has malfunctioned and the pump is actually just running in on itself. Hopefully it's that. I know that sounds like, it's going to cost a couple of hundred to fix, but hopefully it's that and we don't have to dig up hundreds of meters of pipe. The pipe goes all the way from down there all the way up. I'm not sure exactly where, but I know that it comes to this point over here, and there's like a connection here to connect like sprinklers and things like that. And if you look, it's a lot of pressure. What do you think, Eddie? So yeah, behind the wall here on this side is a huge pressure vessel. It's about 300 liters of water at high pressure. So it basically pumps from the well into a 300 liter reservoir that's under pressure, and then that gets piped to the rest of the house. So I'm pretty sure that the problem isn't between this big pressure vessel and the house. It's either from this point going down to the well where there might be a leak, or the pump itself is malfunctioned. So we're going to have to contact the plumber, get him to come down and have a look. He actually replaced this pump only a couple of months ago, and so it's still under warranty, hopefully, and hopefully it is just a faulty pump. We can get that swapped out and then we don't have any more problems. But anyway, for now I'm going to get back on the original job of setting up the pool. It's going to be a hot one today. Look at that, 26 degrees. I often see people posting stuff where they put like, you know, oh, it's 48 degrees today or something like that. And they've clearly got their thermometers in the sun. Remember, when taking temperatures, always have your thermometer in the shade. Oh, what you saying, Mimo? She thinks I'm going for a walk. I'm not going for a walk, my girl. We got some work to do. All right, so we've got the pressure washer. It's kind of a very small one, but it'll do the job because we're not trying to blast the paint off. And I've got some electrics in the pump house over here. We got some water. The only thing I'm missing is this English to Portugal adapter. You'd think that after being here for nearly 3 years I would have changed all of my plugs around, but I haven't. Truth be told, I've actually been putting this off for quite a while because when I do stuff like this I have to film it, and it's always difficult to film stuff when you're doing this stuff yourself. Sometimes you just want to get stuck in and get the job done. So I'm going to try and see if I can use a couple of things, you know, to make it a little bit more interesting. Whoopsie daisy, I don't think this plug is supposed to be wet. Oh, I thought I could smell something dead. There's a dead mouse in here. Oh. Yeah. That is disgusting. Gina put this greenhouse cover in here because she didn't want it blowing away. And now it's just covered in stuff. And some of that juice is all like dead mouse juice. That is so gross. Oh man. Oh, that smell. Whew. Really gets you right in the nostrils. Alright, that's about as much of that I can clean up. The rest is down to the pressure washer. It's quite satisfying using a pressure washer. Unfortunately mine isn't the strongest, so it's not getting all of the stains off, but it's getting enough off so that I can paint it. The only problem I have right now is that the water isn't going down the plug hole. You can see it's going very slowly through there, and obviously I need to drain out all of this mud before I can start painting. And the amount of flies is just ridiculous. I mean, I honestly can't believe how many we have at the moment. We've got neighbours and they all have sheep. So there's a sheep farm just over there, and with the sheep come tons and tons of flies, unfortunately. We put out these commercial fly traps about 3 days ago. Each trap can hold about 10,000 flies. There's probably about, I don't know, 200 flies in them right now. And we got a bunch of these all over the farm. And they're just absolutely teeming with flies. It's got a special bait inside that attracts the females. And if the females get taken out of the picture, you don't get any eggs being laid. Last year we had about 10 of those traps running, and it does make a difference. But still, it can become unbearable to sit out here. We've tried all of the Google remedies. People say stuff like get a Ziploc bag and put pennies in them. And I mean, you know, we've tried everything. The flies literally just laugh at it. There's absolutely no stopping them. Here's some of the other fly traps that we put out. As you can see, they're also getting full of flies. They've been out for 3 days. So you can imagine in a week, they're going to be completely full. And then we have another one which I've hung higher up. And that seems to be even more popular. Look at that. Crazy. I'll show you how these things work in the next couple of weeks and you'll see how full they get. So I'm just going to try and see if I can get that drain to overflow and empty out that pool. Obviously I need that dry so I can start painting. Here is the overflow, and it looks like it's got a whole bunch of, oh there you go, it's not a whole bunch, just a little bit of stuff stuck in it. Nemo, that's Grace water, you don't want to drink that, my girl. Grace. It's going to be a long, slow process getting this water to all drain out of here. Job done. Well, the first part of the job. Obviously it's not perfect, but I managed to make most of the dirty water go away. And obviously there's some areas where I couldn't clean it up like that there. It's just going through to the basic render and stuff. So we're going to give this a repaint, and it's going to look absolutely amazing if last year was anything to go by. And it's quite a big tub, perfect for sitting over here, getting a beer, and having enough of your body in the water to keep cool. I think it's about 6,500 litres. I don't know if the camera's making it out, but there are so many flies. They're just buzzing all around me, landing all over me. It's horrendous. It's much worse than last year. I mean, we've been here, this is going to be our third summer, and it wasn't like this any of the other years. So we are really going to struggle. I visit lots of properties each week and do these virtual tour videos for people, you know, for like our viewers and stuff who can't make it here in person but want to buy properties here. And so I get to see a lot of properties, and there's a lot of properties that don't have this fly problem. And then obviously there's properties like mine where you're around lots of different types of farming, like sheep farming or cow farming. And then, yeah, then the flies are pretty bad. But it's not for the whole year. It's not the whole year round. It's only for like the hottest months of the year. And, you know, we have all of this gorgeous scenery and all of that to make up for it. Just going to wait for the paint to dry. Obviously it's still a little bit wet on the outside. I'll probably do that first. And got a little bit of cleaning and tidying up to do around here. Yeah, it's starting to get really hot. I wonder what the temperature is now. Let's have a look. Yeah, we're on about 28 and climbing. Alright, so the paint must be dry enough now for me to start giving it a go. Right now I'm only going to do the white parts on the outside of the pool. I need to wait longer for this, well, for the inside to dry, because the last thing you want is a bit of water getting underneath this pool paint. I'm a very messy painter. That's why Gina usually doesn't let me paint anything. But she's busy working today, so you know, I want to get this thing painted, but I also don't want to get my cameras all covered in paint. So we're going to try and film with this little guy here on a tripod. Ta-da! It's done. So it's not perfect, but it looks a lot better than it did. And now we just need to wait for the inside to dry, hopefully by tomorrow, so I can get this all done this week for you guys in a video. And we're going to paint the inside of this. It's an amazing blue color once it's painted. It's all faded because we do use a little bit of chlorine in this pool. But yeah, that is me done for the day. It's boiling hot. I think it's time for a beer. So a day has passed, hopefully the paint's dried. Gina is very briefly in this video right now because she's working today.
I'm on a tea break.
Yeah, and she's showing me how to mix the paint because she normally doesn't trust me with painting at all, but outside painting I'm allowed to do.
Yeah, in small doses.
So this is the paint that we're using. We bought it from a pool shop in Covilha, and it's a really nice blue color. We used it last year, but it's a little bit faded now. But wait and see, once it's all painted up, it's going to look incredible. And then we just have to use some of this stuff, paint thinners, just so we can stretch it a little bit further. Most of the pool is dry, apart from a few little pieces at the bottom here. I have no idea why, but when it comes to painting, I just can't be bothered. When it comes to like mowing, I'll do that with precision. I'll do it in like an order. You know, when it comes to editing videos, I'll spend ages on like the smallest part. But when it comes to painting, I just want to throw that stuff against the wall and make it stick. I just can't be bothered. And I think that's why Gina never allows me to paint indoors. But this paint on a pool, how hard could it be? So I'm wearing this hat to stop flies from landing on my head, and I'm sweating so much that it keeps dripping off and landing in the paint. So I'm gonna have to turn it around. I know I look like an idiot, but needs must. So I have to avoid all the wet parts down here, because the paint won't stick to that. So I brought a towel here to give it a little bit of a dry. Hopefully by tomorrow all of this moisture will be gone. And I also need to remember to not paint a step so that I can actually get out. This is my escape route. Up and over. Ta-da! Job done. So the outside is painted. We've painted all of the blue. We've painted all of the blue on the inside, apart from this little corner over here, because obviously that was wet, and also apart from the top of that step, and apart from this top of that piece over there. So we're nearly there. I really want to have this pool up and running for Sunday, so that you guys can watch this video and the whole thing's completed in one episode. And also it's getting so hot, I'd really love to be able to take a swim in our pool. So I bumped into Joaquim earlier when I was going to the shops, and he gestured to me that I think he's going to be coming today to cut all of this. So that'll be pretty cool, because we desperately need all of that doing. It's getting very dry, it's obviously a fire risk, and then we have that whole bottom field just full of this very dry grass. So when people want to know why we cut the grass, this is why. Look what it turns into in just about 2 weeks. From being lush green, full of flowers, a little bit of heat, and now we've got this dry, practically tinder. If I was to drop a match into this, it'll be all over. But don't worry, next year all the flowers are going to come back out again. They've seeded into the soil, and yeah, we're going to have more and more and more every single year. They just come back stronger and stronger. Look at this. Soon we'll have our swimming pool ready. But the doggies can't get in that one. This is their pool.
That looks like it's all mine.
We're super lucky to not just have that little dipping pool, but to also have this little dam. It's a bit of a climb to get down to it, but I think in the summer it's going to be amazing. Oh wow, I've just spotted a fire. On our bottom field, just behind the mountain there, looks like there's a fire started. While this was going on, our neighbour Joaquim, he arrived with his tractor to cut the grass between the olives and on our bottom field. So I've had a look on the fogos.pt app, and that's a pretty big fire. It's in a place called St. Vincent de Beda, and yeah, as you can see, it's just over the hill there on the Gardenia. And I think at the moment there's like 64 firemen there, 4 aeroplanes, a whole bunch of fire trucks, and it's a pretty big fire. So hopefully they contain that, because obviously we've got some fields down here that are full of grass and very dry. You can see the level of skill that he uses to get his tractor around all of the tree stumps. Kind of weaves in and out. This dude knows what he's doing. He's very, very, very good at driving that tractor. It's amazing how much you can get done with a tractor. I mean, if I was to do this with a lawnmower, first of all, I wouldn't be able to do it because the grass was about sort of knee-high to waist-high in parts. I'd have to use a strimmer, and it would take the entire day. Your back would get completely shot from all of like the twisting motions. And yeah, he's been here for about 10 minutes. I'd say he's about a third of the way through the job. Incredible. Ah, brilliant. The plumber has arrived. So hopefully he's going to be able to have a look and tell us what's going on with this well pump. So I got some good news from the plumber. It's not a burst pipe. We have a problem with the pressure switch. This is basically the pressure tank, and the pressure switch is just over here. And basically it's been leaking. So water has gotten all over the electrics and it's not working anymore. Basically the pump is just continuously on. So yeah, it's basically just forcing water into this constantly, and this is like under a lot of pressure. So all we need to get is one of those. There's something else pretty cool that I want to show you inside this room, and that is we've got the parts for a new kitchen. Gina is mega excited because she's been waiting almost 3 years to get the kitchen done. So yeah, she's going to be totally chuffed. Anyway, I'm just going to go down to the bottom field. It looks like Joaquim is cutting that already. Oh, well, that's quite good. I'm just looking in the direction of where the fire was. I'm not seeing any more dark smoke. So it looks like whatever they're throwing at it is working. I can also hear some airplanes up in the sky here that are obviously bombing them, you know, bombing water on the fires. It's really amazing. Every year this field changes so much. It goes from like green lush fields to like almost flooded, and there's like stalks and tadpoles and frogs. So now you've just got this like really dry sort of grass growing on it. It just looks so different all the time. All of the seasons are just so pronounced and so different. I've been standing here trying to film, and there are these huge ants coming out of this ant hole over here, and they just started biting me. Jeez, it had quite a bite in it. I can't believe it. Wow, these are huge, like termite sized. Wow, this fire in the background here is getting absolutely massive. According to fogos.pt, there's 117 firemen, 30 fire trucks and 7 airplanes that are dumping water on this fire. And I can see it looks like it's coming back up again. Today I would have loved to have sent the drone up. I can't send the drone up today, unfortunately. There's fire planes in the sky here. So yeah, I can't show you exactly what it looks like from above. But I'm going to put some links on the screen that you can check out other videos that we've done where we've actually harvested the grass before, and you can see exactly what that looks like from a drone. And yeah, each year we do this, and each year it never ceases to amaze me. I absolutely love seeing it. Hopefully you can see in the sky here all of these swallows, and this is fantastic because, you know, we've got this terrible fly problem at the moment, and these guys are brilliant at just mopping them up. There's quite a few sort of currents and wind happening here at the moment. I think probably spurred on by the heat on the mountain and also that big fire. So they're a bit high up here. I'm not sure if there's any flies up there at the moment, but they've got to be eating something, right? So the fire's still raging. We've got 121 firemen, 31 fire trucks and 9 aircraft now. Now the aircraft have to be quick because it's about 7 p.m. now. Soon it's going to be too dark for them to fly. Yeah, it's going to be all up to the firemen and the fire trucks to put this out. Behind our farm, about 900 meters down the road, is the Marateka, which is a huge dam. And basically these airplanes are flying there. They're swooping down and scooping up water on the surface of the dam without stopping, and then taking off again, going to the fire, dumping it, and then coming back in a circuit. So there's 9 planes at the moment doing that, and hopefully that's going to suppress this fire. Portugal has a lot of fires in the summertime. And so if you are thinking of buying a farm out here and you want a big piece of land, bear in mind you're going to have to keep that land cut and trimmed for the summertime. If you leave long grass, you're going to end up with a bushfire. You're also going to get fined. And so it's really important to know that, like, before you end up buying a massive piece of land that you have absolutely no chance of being able to sort of care for. Muito obrigado. And there you have it. It's been a busy day. And wow, Joaquim has done an awesome job, and well, I don't have to worry about the fields anymore. Now we're in the car with our 2 doggies. If you tuned in last week, you'll know that one of our dogs contracted a disease, or a parasite, called leishmaniasis. So we've got to take these 2 guys into the vet now to make sure that they don't have the same thing. We have arrived. One of the dogs has left us a little present from being car sick. Thank you, doggy. It's an absolutely beautiful day today. In Castelo Branco it's 35, tomorrow's 38 degrees, and after that we've got 3 days of 39 degrees. So the weather is absolutely stunning at the moment. There you go, Eddie.
Liddy, yeah, you're such a good boy.
So this is like a PCR test for leishmaniasis.
Oh, his bandage has come undone.
So yeah, so Masak's one's looking good. He's negative by the looks of it. And this now is for Eddie. So this is Eddie's growth chart. This was on the 18th of December, 4.8 kilograms. And then on the 27th of December, 6.65. 20th of Jan, 11.35. 17th of February, 18 kilograms. And now on the 9th of June, 36 kilos. He's getting huge. So Eddie is 9 months old, almost to the day, because it's the 9th of, it's Thursday the 9th, and we think he's was born on the 10th of October. So 9 months old, 36 kilos. So far so good. We haven't waited the full amount of time, but both tests are looking good. There's not showing up with 2 lines.
No, you're such a cutie.
He's like, oh no. Oh, don't cry. Don't cry, Martha. It's okay.
Both of the tests are officially negative, so that is awesome news. I think there is one more problem, and that's this dog has a puncture. There's a lot of air that comes out of him the whole time, and it doesn't smell very nice. It's like a slow leak where it's like.
Yeah.
Fasting.
Oh!
No.
I was like, an access from a seat.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye, Eulalia. Ciao. Right, let's get out of here, guys. I've let the paint dry for 2 days, and now it's time to fill up the pool. The moment of truth. Let's put the pipe in here and go for it. It's an absolutely stunning day today. It's 35 degrees right now. It's going to be going up to 39 degrees this weekend. So it's the perfect time to be filling up our pool. The fly problem is still super bad. I mean, look how many flies are in here now. It's just crazy. Without these traps, it would be so much worse. And look at this one. That is madness. It can be really uncomfortable to sit outside and just have flies landing on you the whole time. So we've basically got a few areas where we can sit protected by some mesh covering. And this is like a gazebo with like some kind of a mosquito net, fly net around it. Works pretty well and gives us some nice outside views. And we also have a nice little net there underneath the tree as well to protect us from flies. In an ideal world, we wouldn't have any flies. Unfortunately, we have lots of flies. I'd rather be here and have flies than not be here and have no flies. So while I wait for that pool to fill, this is the view I have to put up with. Shocking, isn't it? I still can't get over how lucky I am to be here. So let's go and have a look how this pool's filling up. This water comes from our well, so it's going to be freezing cold. It's like underground water. But this weekend it should warm up quite quickly. Oh yes, look at that. Amazing. I'm on my way to the well. I just want to sort of check on the level. We're just about to take 6,500 litres out of it to go and fill up the swimming pool. Portugal is in drought, and this winter we hardly had any rain. So it's a good idea for me to make a note of where the water levels are before I fill up the pool, after I fill up the pool, and how quickly it's recharging itself. We haven't had a problem with running out of water on the farm. We've got lots of water points, but obviously it's a good idea to keep an eye on those things. As the years progress, you know, water is going to become more and more scarce, and yeah, it's just a good practice just to make sure that we're not running our resources dry. It is such a beautiful day today. I'm in absolute awe of this weather. I mean, this is my sort of Western Cape South African summer type weather, and I absolutely love it. 35 degrees plus, blue skies, and yeah, it's the best. Alright, so I usually count the bricks, and from the top of that door there's like a little doorway in there. There's 6 bricks above that. This well is filled by some underground springs. and it's never run dry before. We've never ever had a water problem. Now we have 2 wells on the farm. One of them is open to the elements. It's much bigger, and the water in there is like a sort of rusty brown color. I believe there's lots of iron in the ground, but it is still clean. We've got fish living in there, frogs living in there. You know, whereas this well, the one that we use for the house, this is crystal clear, clean water. So these springs are completely different from the springs on the front of the farm. And yeah, it's just a good idea just to keep an eye on those levels, you know, and make sure that we don't run into any problems. Obviously, we're using a lot of water. We're filling up a pool and we're doing all sorts of stuff. So, you know, I just need to keep an eye on it. And if we're going to be doing things like irrigation and stuff like that, we need to switch over to the well on the front field and use that water for those purposes. I'm such an idiot. I was wondering why the pool was taking so long to fill. And I just realized that this drain has been open and all of the water has just been draining out into the field now for the last 20 minutes or so. Yeah, it's the last thing you want, to be wasting water like that. Anyway. Poor old Mimo. She's inside. It's obviously very hot today. We've got a fan blowing on her and she's just lying here. You can see she's got some really bad scarring on her face now from the leishmaniasis. And like around her eyes, she's losing her hair. But yeah, hopefully the treatment's working. You can see she's still a happy girl. She's still wagging her tail and stuff like that. My sweet, sweet girl, get better. Get better, my girl. Cheers, everyone. I've got myself a nice ice-cold cider with some ice. And I think I'm going to start sitting in the pool. I had a very late night last night. I went out with Theo. We went and played pool. And I had one too many beers, I think. I was having fun. But today I'm paying the price. It's not quite full yet, but it's getting there. Oh, that is refreshing. Oh, yes. Woo. Oh, so nice. We're about halfway there. And you can actually see the difference in height of the steps. So if you look at this one, there's no water on it yet. It's just about there. Whereas if you look at this one, there's a bit of water on it. Obviously this one's out the water by almost an inch, probably more than an inch. And this one's just getting some water on it. These are really nice to use to sit on. And they're at the perfect height, so you can like put a drink down and just sit and chill in the pool. And we got different heights. Not everyone likes to be completely submerged. Oh man, this is the life. I wish it was pool weather all year round. Oh man, this is looking so good. Look at this. Oh yes. We're nearly there. We just have to fill up a little bit more. Then we're done. So I reckon the pool's about 3/4 of the way full. Let's go and have a look at the well and see how much the water level in there has dropped. I forgot to mention that these fly traps, they're called red top fly traps. I believe they're a South African product. And as you can see, they work really well. I mean, this has only been up for a couple of days and yeah, it's absolutely full. I'm gonna have to put some more water inside here just to top it up. If we didn't live next to like a dairy farm, we probably wouldn't have this many flies, and a trap like that would probably catch absolutely everything. But we've literally got millions upon millions of flies, and these traps only take out like 10,000 flies a piece. I think we've got about 10 traps out at the moment. So, you know, we're capable of taking out about 1/10 of a million, but it's just not enough. So in a couple of days, Joaquim's going to come around and he's going to rake all of this up and hay bale it and on that bottom field. But it's amazing how different it looks. This definitely reminds me of like the Western Cape, sort of like Karoo region. It's very, very, very similar. And although I do like the flowers and stuff like that, I also enjoy this dry sort of summer heat where everything dries out and you can hear the crickets and the birds, and yeah, it's one of my favorite things. Now's the moment of truth. Let's see how much water we've used. We've used there's about 3 bricks above the doorway, and we had 6. So it's dropped quite an amount. But I mean, if you look, we've still got a couple of meters of water down there, and we've just filled up a 6,500 litre tank. So now the springs and all the groundwater is just going to basically push right back into that well again and refill itself. So, you know, it's not like a water tank in the ground that there's a finite amount. It is just going to keep on refilling. And yeah, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. I will go down a little bit later on and have a look, but so far so good. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't draining the entire thing, you know. We're nearly there. Brilliant. Let's see what the temperature is. What's that? 18 degrees. 18 degrees, okay. But remember, this water's coming from like underground, so it's going to be pretty cold. Tonight, apparently, the overnight temperature is going to be 20 to 22 degrees. So hopefully that's going to raise the temperature of the water nicely. And then tomorrow, it's going to be a lovely swimming temperature. It's the moment of truth. It's full. The pool is full. The pool is full. Oh, that rhymes, actually. And now it's time to get into this cold well water. Okay, that's not too bad. That's pretty good. There we go. This is what it's all about. And there you have it. The pool is full. We have a pool for summertime. Something to cool off in this crazy 39-degree heat of this weekend. And yeah, job done. Job done. What do you think, Tina?
Great. It's chilly, but I'll get used to it.
Yeah, this is like water from deep underneath the ground, so hopefully it's going to warm up in the next couple of days. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. Check us out on Patreon. We have, I'm going to put some links up on the screen. We've got an Instagram account, a Patreon account. We post all sorts of content, so you can catch up with us on all of those different channels. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button, the subscribe button, all of the different cliches that you often hear YouTubers talking about. But if you can do that for us, you help support our channel. So thank you very much, and we'll see you same time, same place.
Ciao!
Ciao.